Hey, welcome back. That's 70s Card Show. My name's John Keating. It's Basement Tapes, volume number 12. 12, you say? Yeah, I apparently recorded a batch of these. Flew across the country to Las Vegas on Tuesday. Got to my hotel room and realized instead of hitting download, I hit delete for episode 12. So it never made it to the air. So now I'm re recording episode 12 and out of order. That's kind of the way my life goes sometimes. 1932, we're talking about, and we're making that switch from tobacco to gum cards that we talked about in episode 13 that you may or may not have already listened to. 1932, year my father was born. So that is what a good time it is to talk about that on Father's Day. So my father didn't leave me any cards. He was the son of hardcore, dirt poor Irish immigrants. So baseball cards were the last things on their mind to talk about around the dinner table about acquiring. So anyway, 1932. I got my old Beckett open here. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the 1932 Players Wild Birds. And Beckett, of course, as usual with non-sports vintage, very little details or descriptions available there, other than there are 50 cards in the set. And let's see here. Let me see if I can copy this there. Technology is wonderful. My favorite thing in the whole wide world is probably copy and pasting. Gets me into trouble with spreadsheets sometimes. But 1932 Players Wild Birds. I have the complete set of 50 cards, and they're not worth a lot, but I do have the complete set. So let's talk about what TCDB has to say about them. These are cards from across the pond, of course, and maybe I can read the back here, but 50 of them. It says small. They are 1 3/8 by 2 5/8. So that's where the small part comes from. We can go to the gallery and look at some of these birds. I'll try to read, maybe I'll try to read the back of one of these cards. It doesn't go so well sometimes here. So let me see if I can look at that. The bullfinch and young. So it says wild birds at the top, a series of 50. The bullfinch and young are number 2, issued by John Player and Sons, branch of the ITC, or the Imperial Tobacco Company of Great Britain and Ireland, Ltd. My father, if you look at my grandfather's papers from Ellis Island, he was born in the Irish Free State. I'm sorry, he immigrated from the Irish Free State. He was born as part of the colonial Britannica rule in Ireland. But my grandmother was came over from Northern Ireland. It said on her stuff. So anyway, Ireland and Great Britain, 1932. The handsome bird is a resident of the British Isles and is found most in most districts, but is rather local. The male usually gives his pleasing little something something from the interior of a dense thicket. All right. While his mate is sitting, he is most devoted to her, and she frequently collects food. He frequently collects food to offer her, but will also take his turn at sitting on the eggs. The nest, often quite a fragile structure, of is constructed of fine twigs interlaced with roots. The food consists chiefly of uh, buds, seeds, and berries, with an occasional insect on a Friday night. So we have the blackbird with its young, the bullfinch and its young, the reed bunting, the chaffinch and its nest, the chiffchaff and young, the carrion crow, young cuckoo with sedge warbler foster mother. Okay, that's pretty detailed. A curlew settling on her eggs is a card. Card number 9 is the stone curlew and eggs. The dipper's number 10. Moving over to page 2, the black-throated diver, spotted flycatcher and young, the black-throated grebe or grebe, the great-crusted grebe or grebe, the jackdaw, jay and young, the kestrel, the kingfisher, kittiwake or kittiwake and young, lapwing and eggs, the Lynette and Young, the Magpie. And by the way, if you're ever in Tucson, Arizona, order your pizza from the Magpie. Great pizza. Merlin and Young is card number 23. The Nightingale is card 24. The Nightjar is card number 25. The Barn Owl, 26. What a great looking card that is, by the way. The Brown Owl, the Little Owl Asleep, the Ringed Plover, Puffins. I've seen puffins in the wild in Iceland. Pretty cool. They like to nest on the crags of cliffs. The Raven, the Robin, Sandpiper and Eggs, Red-backed Shrike and Young, the Sparrowhawk and Young, the House Sparrow, Mute Swan at her nest, the Missile Thrush and Young, Song Thrush at her nest, the Great Tit. That's the Great Tit is card number 40. Moving on to card number 5 here. I'm sorry, card number 41, the Long-tailed Tit. I believe I saw her at a truck stop back in 1989. The Gray Wagtail, Red Warbler and Young, the Sedge Warbler and Young, the Willow Warbler, Wind Chats, the Whitethroat. She was at my bachelor party. The Green Woodpecker, the Wren, and Yellow Hammer and Young. That's your number 50. And that is the 1932 Players Wild Birds small version. 50 cards total. I'm fortunate to have this set. It's probably my oldest completed set I have, if we're counting at home. So anyway, cheers to all. Happy Father's Day to all who do that and more. And yeah, let's get on to whatever the next John is. I will see you folks shortly.